As Smithy said, not a lot of knowledge about conditions here, so everyone's looking at the pitch very closely. A lot of women's internationals played here too. It's a ground that everybody in Indian cricket's been talking about for a while, about this magnificent new stadium that's come up here. #51st venue for one-day internationals, Smithy, in India.
In India? 51st? Incredible.
I remember going to Napier many years ago. That's where you started your voyage to come here, didn't you? It wasn't a journey, it was a voyage. How long did it take you? How many days? You left last week, didn't you?
I think it was 37 hours from airport to hotel. Airport New Zealand to hotel here.
You could have walked all around Napier in that much time and more.
Lucky I spent the last 15 of it with Dooley. That was good.
Just two of the first 2 overs, 2 for no loss.
Well, shot there on the right of Will Young, and Indian cricket fans will remember Will Young. Very, very, very good series against India in the 3 tests that New Zealand won. And I sort of equate to this series a little bit like that. On paper, the game's not played on paper, of course, but on paper, India much stronger side. They're the hot favourites going into this game, as they were when New Zealand came here for 3 test matches. And there will be memories.
Why did it take you so long to get there, Smithy?
Well, I left it a couple of overs, Harsha. Got to get it out quick. But I sort of similar, and I'm sure that the New Zealand side within their group talked about that in the build-up. Look, we are new, we are young. There's some people who have never experienced what you're about to experience. This kind of atmosphere, the frantic nature of how cricket is revered in India. But remember that.
I sort of touched upon that with Daryl Mitchell in my interview, and he brushed it like any New Zealand player does. It's all about the team, and it's always about doing well against India. It's always good to come here and do well, but that was a big moment. I can imagine you got emotional, Ian. I saw Simon Doull, who's normally never emotional, get emotional after that win. And we all know it's not been a happy period for us because we've lost another series after that. But having said that, I suppose there is a very good sniper hiding somewhere. So many players injured. What's happening there? Who's the sniper?
I think this is the point Smithy was making when he talked about the relative strengths of the two sides. In terms of experience, Virat Kohli alone has got more runs than all the New Zealand side put together, I think. 108 centuries to 20, 618 wickets to 104. And since Smithy loves India-New Zealand numbers and loves to bring them up as frequently as he does, the last time New Zealand beat India in India was 8 years ago, and we were both younger, Smithy.
I think it's also largely due to this fact that we have in front of us, Harsha. A depleted side. You look at Mitch Santner, who will be here for the T20s. He's got a groin and thigh injury. Tom Latham, he's got a break for his impending childbirth, third child to be born. Finn Allen, finger and hamstring. Matt Henry, rehab after calf tear. Nathan Smith, side. Blair Tickner, shoulder. Mark Chapman, ankle. Ben Sears, hamstring. Willow Rook, a back stress fracture. Lockie Ferguson, calf. Adam Milne, ankle. So that's a proper sniper somewhere.
I'll tell you what, back at the box, Simon Doull's looking fit. He might have brought his kid along. No, but it tells you about the quality of New Zealand cricket, that you can lose so many in a country that doesn't have a lot of first-class players, that they can still put out a really competitive side.
It's an interesting point and you make about that, because it's not just New Zealand's side, but if you look back at the recent Ashes series and see how many of the bowlers were able to manage the workload, and they were only short test matches, to be fair. They weren't going 5 days until the last one. But how many of those players were physically fit enough to get through that series? Very few. Very, very few. So whilst New Zealand have been hit hard at the moment, and let's hope they get out of it very quickly, it's not just unique to New Zealand.
I'll tell you a story about this man who's running into ball in the next over. First shot that might get to the boundary and already proved this is a quick outfield. First one of the innings, it's 7 for no loss.
There's a bit of a cry from the crowd to catch it because it was in the air, but because we're in a power play situation, men inside the circle, can't have them everywhere, and Nicholls will feel very good about that. They're hitting a gap.
It's a boundary for Nicholls. Make a very valid point, Smith, about how many people are fit, playing as much cricket as they do. It's a privilege watching Mohammad Siraj bowl in England this year. 5 test matches played, every one of those ran in And fittingly took that last wicket in a memorable finish. And it was just awesome. It was awesome seeing the size of his heart, his stamina. No idea how much petrol in his tank. Also, from time to time, had to be the leader of the attack because Bumrah only played 3 out of 5. He's got a chronic back condition that he's got to live with till as long as he's playing cricket.
White called. I know, as a commentator who's watched all these teams play, what do you make of the makeup of the Indian team? Do you agree with my thought process about having a left-arm seamer? This is the last ball of the previous over, nicely tucked through the onside. It was aerial, but there was no fielder there.
Well, I look at two names that are not being involved today, and I'll be thinking, goodness me. One of them, of course, is Yashavi Joswal, who would make most sides in the world, to be perfectly honest. So that just, to me, that illustrates how much strength that India have, particularly in the top part of the batting side of things. That's a real plus. But I'm with you, and you've already mentioned it. I'm a big fan of Arshdeep Singh. I think he's a busy cricketer. I like a left armer in the side. New Zealand have, over the years, done very well with the likes of Trent Boult. They just add something different, particularly to left-hand batsmen. They're a bit of a nemesis for left-hand batsmen because they can angle the ball in and take it away. They tend to make you play more. And I'm quite surprised, actually, and I would imagine New Zealand are feeling quite relieved that Arshdeep Singh is actually not playing in this match.
Down the ground, that's superb timing. Coming to their own now. Boundary earlier to Nicholls, now one to Conway.
He's played some fine shots today. It's just that they've gone to hand. But this time around, it was overpitched. A nice presentation of that bat face. Lovely timing. And good enough to beat mid-on. And the second thing is, he's just staying with Arshdeep Singh. He started the year well, Harsha. He's picked up 7 wickets in 2 list A games. He got a fifer. I know it could be against Sikkim. People can say it is Sikkim, but he's still amongst wickets. So he's been in good form. Beautifully bowled. Finished the year so nicely. So extremely surprised that he's not been picked in this playing 11.
That's what Karthik was talking about in the Vijay Hazare Trophy. Now, the numbers will tell a story, and the eyes tell a story too. And what the eyes say about Arshdeep has always been impressive. For some reason, and I think it's to do with the fact that not all the other bowlers bat, and so for the balance of the side, especially in T20 cricket, but elsewhere too, I had him down as the leading wicket taker in the Champions Trophy, and he didn't play a single game. I'm surprised. Maybe they just like Prasidh Krishna's skill in the middle overs. That could be the only reason.
I'd be surprised if we don't see quite a lot of players turned over in the course of these 8 matches coming up. I think New Zealand will do, particularly when it comes to the T20s, will give all their players who are in the World Cup T20 team many opportunities to get used to Indian conditions, particularly those that have not played. These to me are a bonus. I love this form of the game. So these 3 games are a real bonus, these first 3 ODIs.
Can a ball that bounces before the keeper. 4 overs gone, 13 for no loss.
Modern homes can be hectic. Things overflow, stress mounts, and suddenly your sanctuary becomes bedlam. That's why we build what we build, tailored fitted furniture, to create calm out of chaos, making a space feel spacious, a room feel roomy. Simple, clever storage solutions, helping people live better. Hammonds, in order to live better. Our sale is now on.
So Conway's 8, Nicholls is 4.
The other thing that is of interest is bowling around the wicket. Both these right armers now, Siraj as well, is going to concentrate on going around the wicket to these 2 left-handers. Nothing really happening across them, which is the preferred method still, I believe anyway, to start across. Bring your slips and keeper into play with any sort of movement. See if there's anything in the surface. It looks pretty barren, it's cracked, we've showed you that. But if there's anything at all, it'll be there early.
See it in Test cricket too. As soon as the left-hander comes in, the quicks go round. Another ball that dies into the keeper's gloves. Just wonder if it's also because a white ball doesn't swing for too long. One of the things I'd love to see happen in the game, going ahead, is to get a white ball that swings. In T20 cricket, a white ball that swings for at least 7 or 8 overs. White ball that swings 10, 12, 13 overs in the 50-over game. Through the covers. Just reached out. What were you telling us a little while back, Smithy, about Conway?
Well, I've spent, not that long ago, 5 days in a place called Mount Maunganui, beautiful place where they play at the Bay Oval. New Zealand played a test match against the West Indies there, and I saw 100 of these from Devon Conway. He got a double 100 and 100. And I won't say I got bored with it, but I got used to it. So forgive me if I didn't jump out of my chair.
Not a bad spot, is it, Mount Maunganui? Expensive real estate, I'm told. You've got a couple of villas there.
I'm just lucky to go there every now and then, Harsha. It is a pretty expensive part of New Zealand to live, there's no doubt about it. But this time of the year, and they've been experiencing a heat wave in New Zealand. I mean,
Why did it get to about 17 degrees there?
got to, in my hometown yesterday, 38 degrees.
No.
38 degrees in my hometown yesterday.
In New Zealand?
In New Zealand, 38. Not very often I come to India from Hawke's Bay and think, I hope I brought enough clothes.
He plays well in India. In India, we rate Devon Conway very highly. This was from Indore the last time they came here back in 2023. Against the Pacers, some good shots through the offside. So just looking at some numbers for Conway, it's interesting. Since 2023 against pace, he averages 39 strikes at 91. Against spin, he averages 87. 8 ODIs versus India, average 40 overall.
I know it's a sore topic for all of us who endured that series loss, Harsha, but I feel that he was the one who actually kick-started everything for the Kiwis by running at Ashwin and Jadeja. He was the first batter to do that. We've hardly seen that happen against those two, and he's the one who set the trend in that series.
New Zealand have done well with their relations with South Africa in recent times. I don't know if you need to export some of your stuff back there, but you imported some very good cricketers from there. Neil Wagner's done, but he was a fantastic player for New Zealand. Now Conway doing pretty well with Indians too, with Rachin Ravindra, now Aditya Shok. 17 for no loss from 5. Lots of blue all around. Actually might add to that list, Smithy. In the Beer Singh Sodhi. Mumbai's very own Ajaz Patel, who I noticed took wickets outside of Mumbai as well recently.
There's another senior Patel as well, Deepak Patel. But I think there's one issue there, Harsha. They only have an import policy, importing players. You're not allowed to take many things into New Zealand, but they don't mind cricketers in.
We get a few coming in every summer to India for the IPL, don't we? There's a lot of Kiwis in town, by the way. 2 more in the commentary box over here. A couple of commentators at the WPL, and Sophie Devine, Melly Kerr, a few players coming in there, so there's a few Kiwis in town. One of them just lost the Ashes, Ben Stokes. Well, many did. Oh, just in front. Or did he get there?